In 1981, Diana Spencer married Prince Charles and became a member of a royal family that held traditions which had remained unchanged for years, and in some cases, centuries. She was quoted as saying, "I do things differently, because I don't go by a rule book, because I lead from the heart, not the head." While her rebellious ways landed her in trouble at times, Princess Diana forever changed the royal family. Let's take a look at a number of ways Princess Diana broke with tradition. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please do well to hit the subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell so as not to miss out on any news update. Number 1. She picked out her own engagement ring. Traditionally, engagement rings for the royal family are custom-made. They're designed specifically for the bride or they're passed down within the royal family. But Princess Diana decided to do something a little different. She picked out her ring herself and she chose it from a catalog. The selected ring, a 12-carat sapphire surrounded by 14 diamonds, is stunning, but many thought it wasn't unique enough for a princess. Nonetheless, Princess Diana ended up with the sapphire sparkler, which has since been passed on to her son William's bride, Kate Middleton. Number 2. She wrote her own wedding vows. Besides her engagement ring, Princess Diana also broke the rules when it came to her actual wedding. Traditionally, wedding vows include promises to love, cherish, and to obey. However, Princess Diana had a slight issue with the language. She did not like the word obey and decided to omit it completely. Her influence didn't end with her own wedding. Not only did the people's princess do her own thing when it came to her vows, she actually changed the way new generations got married. Current couples like Prince William and Kate, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and even Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank have taken the word obey out of their vows, as well. Number 3. She broke fashion rules. Princess Diana wasn't one to shy away from fashion, but as a royal, there were certain standards to which she was expected to adhere. But being the rebel that she was, she often didn't play by the royal fashion rules. For her first official appearance with Prince Charles, Diana stepped out in a strapless gown, which wasn't exactly in the royal dress code. Diana did this sort of thing on multiple occasions, like when she sported a choker as a tiara at an appearance in Melbourne, Australia. She was also one of the first royal ladies to wear dresses and skirts showing her knees. Traditionally, skirts were supposed to cover the lower portion of women's legs. Number 4. She was a hands-on mom. Princess Diana preferred to do things her way, and parenting was no exception. She hugged her children, she breastfed them as infants, and while she did employ nannies, she preferred to do most things herself. She took her sons out and spent as much time with them as possible. While they were future heirs to the throne, they were first and foremost her children. Some of the most iconic images of Princess Diana and her boys show her laughing or hugging them. She once said, "I want to bring them up with security. I hug my children to death and get into bed with them at night. I always feed them love and affection. It's so important." Number 5. She showed her kids life outside the palace. While many royals prefer the confines of the palace, Princess Diana wanted to show her children that there was more to life outside those walls. She took them to homeless shelters and to visit hospitals. While they were royal by blood, she wanted them to be aware of the rest of the world. Princess Diana greatly influenced the way her sons view the world. Prince William once told Katie Couric, "She very much wanted to get us to see the rawness of real life, and it was one of the biggest lessons I learned is, just how lucky and privileged so many of us are, particularly myself." Number 6. She was open about her marriage troubles. Diana certainly wasn't one to hide the truth. She was very open about her personal life and didn't shy away from commenting on her marital troubles during public interviews, saying that she didn't want a divorce, but she was awaiting her husband's decision. She also spoke candidly about Prince Charles's affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. She has been quoted as saying, "A woman's instinct is a very good one. Obviously I had knowledge of it from people who minded and cared about our marriage. There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." She wasn't afraid to speak truthfully, making jabs at her husband. Number 8. She chose her sons' names. In the past, the task of naming royal youngsters fell to the father. Furthermore, the names were usually picked from a pool of monikers with family or historical significance. According to this tradition, it would have been customary for Prince Charles to choose the names for the couple's two sons. Diana, on the other hand, decided to choose to name her sons herself. Her husband, Prince Charles, had wanted to name them Arthur and Albert, two names that are prominent within the royal family. Obviously, Diana's preferences made the final cut. Number 9. She put her family before her royal duties. Princess Diana was a princess married to the direct heir to the throne, and thus was shouldered with many duties expected of someone in her position. And while she did sometimes leave her children with a nanny, she did her best to rearrange her schedule in order to spend as much time with the boys as possible. It had been said that she kept track of every detail and event for her sons. A Newsweek article from 1997 stated, in her official calendar, the princess had all the everyday details of her sons' utterly uneveryday lives marked in green ink. Number 10. She sent her kids to a public school. Royal children have traditionally been tutored at home, their parents employing the best scholars as tutors. Royal heirs didn't often intermingle with children that were not royal by blood. In fact, Prince Charles broke the mold by attending a private college years earlier. Princess Diana took it a step further. Prince William was the first royal heir to go to a public school, a preschool called Jane Minor's Nursery School. Diana insisted he develop his budding skills amongst commoners. Prince Harry also attended Jane Minor's school when he was ready to start his education. Number 11. She spoke out about mental health. Not only did the princess speak openly about her marriage and the issues she faced with her husband, she also spoke openly about mental health. She specifically opened up to the public and the press about her personal struggle with bulimia. Her battle with the eating disorder stemmed from the stress she faced regarding her marriage and trying to keep it together for the public. She openly spoke about bulimia by saying, "You inflict it upon yourself because your self-esteem is at a low ebb, and you don't think you're worthy or valuable. It's a repetitive pattern which is very destructive to yourself." Number 12. She enjoyed a public life after her divorce. While others who have left the royal family have stepped out of the public eye, Princess Diana did not. For the upbeat princess, life in the spotlight went on after her divorce from Prince Charles. She continued to remain in the news because reporters and the public adored her. She also enjoyed relationships with new men, including Dodi Al-Fayed, whom she died alongside in the infamous car crash. She continued to make headlines until the day she died. In fact, she continues to make headlines to this day. Number 13. She publicly supported charities. Princess Diana was nicknamed the People's Princess, and for good reason. She was probably best known for her loving nature and compassion. The princess was one of the first royals who publicly supported charities with her presence and her heart, not just with her money and status. While most royals support various charities, Diana wasn't afraid to get out there and make her support public. She walked across minefields to bring awareness to landmines, and shook hands with HIV-positive patients, shaking up ideas about the role of the royal family. Number 14. She didn't shy away from public displays of affection. The royal family has always been proper no touching, kissing, or hand-holding. In fact, even recently, news outlets picked up on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle holding hands, exclaiming how out of the ordinary such intimate public contact was. Diana never shied away from affection, even in public, especially with her children. Prince Harry has said of his mom, "She would just engulf you and squeeze you as tight as possible. And being as short as I was then, there was no escape, you were there and you were there for as long as she wanted to hold you." Number 15. She gave birth in a hospital. One tradition that Diana broke stretched all the way back to the 1800s. Royal births were traditionally carried out at home. Moms were put to sleep, with babies birthed using forceps. This allowed for an easy, drama-free birth on the mother's part, with little injury to the child. However, a home birth while she was dreaming was not in Diana's plans. She changed up everything when she decided to give birth in a hospital. She wanted to be awake and give birth naturally. And perhaps most remarkably, she gave birth standing up. Her would-be daughters-in-law have followed in her footsteps, also giving birth in private wings of a hospital. Number 16. She influenced the way the queen did things. Surprisingly, the rebellious princess had an affect on the queen as well. It seems that once Diana came to the palace, the royal family had eased up on some of their rules regarding royal attire, travel conventions, and interactions with the public. While Diana and Prince Charles didn't have a lasting marriage, her influence remains to this day. According to some reports, even Queen Elizabeth II has relaxed some royal protocols. And, of course, the Queen's grandsons and their families have followed in their mother's footsteps as well. Number 17. She held a paid position before becoming a princess. Before becoming a princess, Diana Spencer was born into a family of British nobility, her father being an earl. However, her status didn't stop her from leading a regular life before her marriage to Prince Charles, and encouraging her sons to carry on this legacy. Before she met Prince Charles, Diana had several jobs. She worked as a nursery school teacher and as a nanny. In fact, the position she held made her the first royal to hold a paid job before entering into the royal family. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave comments and to like and subscribe. Thank you.